Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from GodTvRadio. Make sure you check out my website, GodTvRadio.com. Connect with me on Facebook and Twitter, and so on and so on and so on. All the links are in the description if you're interested in what the fuck I've got going on. Alright, so let's hear a fucking intro, alright? Yes. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. All right, so I'm not exactly sure how I ran into Joseph Martelli through the internet. I think it could have possibly been the Drunken Peasants, or someone brought it up to me in a hangout asking me what do I think about the drama with Joseph Martelli. I'm not exactly sure who the first person was that initiated, or the first person that spoke of his name. But I do remember whenever I started interacting with the Drunken Peasants, at the time they were raiding my rooms. They were really getting intense into the drama and the bullshit towards me. I would say there's probably months that went by where they made accusations of me. They insulted the shit out of me before Joseph Martelli even came into existence. So whenever I heard that there was a Christian man out there who believed in God, who was being treated like shit by the Drunken Peasants, I immediately assumed that the guy was in the same predicament that I was. That, unfortunately, people were taking his clips and his videos, putting it up on the Drunken Peasants, and they were insulting the shit out of them. And that's pretty much what I thought. That's what I figured. So, someone ended up giving me a YouTube link where I go over to this guy's videos. I'm looking at some of the clips, and I see like 10-second clips where Joseph Martelli's pointing cameras at the ground, and he goes, "Yo, this is Joseph Martelli. Yeah, about to eat me some french fries." Click. Very weird. Never seen shit like it in my life. Next video, he's like pointing at some pictures or whatever. "Joseph Martelli, I'm looking at some Kodak film." Click. And this was pretty much the routine. I noticed as I went through like 5 or 6 of these videos and looked at some of the thumbnails, it was the same routine. It was basically a guy that was recording very short clips. I didn't understand why. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But I assumed, I had it in my head that the guy was being fucked with, like I was being fucked with. And also the fact that, everybody told me he was a Christian guy who had all these problems and trouble and shit. As a good person, I wanted to be able to get to know him and see if I could help him, or just be someone to listen. Someone that can find out what's happening and try to resolve whatever fucking internet drama or problems he was having. I was not aware that he had a history of fucking visiting people or going all over the United States of America and and doing whatever the fuck Joseph Martelli's about. I didn't know anything about him. Well, I ended up doing a hangout one day, and the DP raided my room. A bunch of people came in and posted Nazi symbols and poop balls and all kinds of bullshit. And they pulled me into their shit, and they said, "Brett, why are you being friends with this guy for? He is threatening to come to our meeting and do all kinds of fucked up shit or whatever." And I was like, "What? Huh?" I didn't really know what to say and shit, except for Well, if there's some kind of problem happening, if you feel like you're in some kind of danger by someone on the internet that I hardly even fucking knew, why don't you call the police? Why don't you get you some help? Do something about it. And they apparently were not interested in that. Instead, they acted like there was some big conspiracy where I was assisting Joseph Martelli in some kind of way, or we knew each other, and there was some kind of big, crazy, villainous shit, malicious shit going on. Duplicious, as Paul would say. So, after seeing all that kind of bullshit, I ended up finally interacting with the guy by leaving some comments on his fucking video, like I do everybody out there that I end up seeing your video, whether I like it or dislike it. I try to interact with the community out there, and I ask him, would you like to come into my hangouts? Would you like to come visit? I'd like to talk to you, find out what you're about, yada, yada, yada. And he ended up coming in. And he was nice. He was cool. He said he had no interest in causing anybody any trouble. He said that DP started it with him first. He said that atheists were fucking with him nonstop, and he just wanted to do his own thing. I even still got the hangout recorded where he says all this shit. And that's it. Then there's another one that we did later on where apparently he decided that he was going to go down there, and he did. And he got himself in the big old shit with Tommy from the Bronx. And, you know, apparently he got ran after down the fucking street. There was some hollering done back and forth. And he came into my room and he told me about the incident. I also got to see footage from various different YouTube accounts of non-believers showing different angles of it. And I said to him, and that hangout still exists too, why did you go do that for? What the hell were you thinking? I even asked him, were you armed? You didn't plan on hurting anybody or causing any kind of trouble, did you? He's like, no, man, I wasn't going to do nothing like that. Joseph Martelli don't want to fuck nobody up or do anything. I just wanted to go down there. They acted like they wanted to have the beer and shit like that on video, but they wanted to kick my ass, so I ended up taking off. So, in one of my hangouts, I did a third hangout where he came in only for a short moment and he couldn't get his phone to work. I think that he was on a bus or something like that, and we couldn't understand him. He sounded all robotic and terrible. And then he ended up leaving the room. And me and Peyton and a couple of guys, we were talking about how wild it is that this guy went all the way down to this fucking area and got himself into a big-ass ruckus with a mob of Spartacus fucking unevolved primates. It's crazy. So next thing I know, as time goes by, accusations are made by the DP that I allegedly dropped addresses to some fucking guy I don't know nothing about. I don't know him. He's been in the room literally twice, and the third time we couldn't even make him out. He was only there for a few minutes, and all those hangouts still exist, and you can see for yourself. So, Joseph Martelli, after they accused me of all this other bullshit, I ended up asking Joseph Martelli, would he be interested in doing an interview? He said, sure. He said that he actually liked the interviews I did with other people, including The Amazing Atheist and Paul's Ego. So he allowed me to do it, and I asked him a lot of the same questions I ask other people, but I also had some custom-made questions for him as well. And as usual, like in the Hangouts, like in the podcast, I forgot about that. He did end up recently coming into a fucking podcast and talking with us for a little bit. And again, he was very nice. He was very cool and shit like that. But DP keeps on pushing this whole concept as though we're all close. They did the same thing with Jenny McDermott as well. I seen that Jenny McDermott was being fucked with. I went over there. I offered her some support. I've never talked to her on the phone. I got to be in a hangout with her for a short while once. But besides that, there really was no interaction except for maybe every once in a while. Hey, you got any new videos? I got some new videos through Twitter, and that was it. I mean, her haters have more interaction than she had with me. And that was pretty much how it is. Like anybody out there, you have a couple text messages or maybe calls, and that's it. So that's how I know Joseph Martelli. That's the full story. I don't know the fucking guy at all. And in fact, I discovered recently that he has removed me off of Skype. He's probably not interested in talking no more and wants to get away from the drama and probably assumes that I'm somehow a part of this bullshit, that it's annoying for him. It's annoying for him to deal with DP, and it's also annoying to see me having the back and forth. So he's probably had it with all of us, and that's that. That's the end. Okay, let's go ahead and play my ending.